Welcome to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast.
My name is Jen Clark.
And I'm Elka Clark. We are a mother-daughter team who started our Zazzle e-commerce businesses over 10 years ago and have sold $15 million and counting of products on Zazzle with our designs on them.
We had so many people asking us how we did this, so we created our signature course, the Profit by Design Academy, which teaches our 5 strategies for success on Zazzle.
When we aren't helping creative entrepreneurs just like you create profitable e-commerce businesses, we love cooking food from places all over the world that we've traveled to, jet setting to our next dream destination, spending quality time with our close friends and family, or having fun creating our next bestsellers in our Zazzle businesses.
In this podcast, we share actionable steps you, the creative, can take to make money in your e-commerce business on Zazzle. Each episode will take you one step closer to achieving freedom with your time, location, and finances.
We believe that you can have anything you dream of, as long as you work smarter, not harder. And we're here to give you the tools you need to make your dreams happen. Let's get started. Well, hey there, it's Elka.
And Jen, and in this episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast, we are talking about how to make money online on Zazzle working 5 hours a week.
Yeah, and you might think, wow, 5 hours a week, that's not a lot. I could handle that. And yes, you can. In fact, we have students that are in our Profit by Design Academy course that have day jobs, like big, serious day jobs where they can't have more than 5 hours a week in order to work on Zazzle. And they have made it work for them using our system. So we're going to talk about that system today by breaking it down into 5 key areas so that you can also aim towards working 5 hours a week. Obviously, if you want all of the strategies and templates and little things that make it more effective, then obviously you can be part of the Profit by Design Academy where we lay all this out very clearly. However, we're going to get you started, even if you're not a member, by explaining the key concepts. And so the first thing to remember is that means 5 hours a week means 20 hours a month. And when Jen and I first started, we were also aiming for that. And now that we have this system in place, we can do that if we want to expand and scale our Zazzle business. If we want to maintain it and keep it at the level that we want it to give us in terms of income, then we actually end up working about 4 hours a month because we're just maintaining it. But if you're building it and scaling it, then 20 hours is a nice set amount of time that you can use if you use your time very effectively and you follow all the strategies that we always teach about with our 5 strategies. But let's talk about how you can get that 5 hours a week in and make it the most productive. So let's start with mindset, which is number 1, mindset and goal setting. And you might think that what just happened? Why are we talking about mindset? Because mindset is so key to all of this. First of all, I've got to get you around the fact that you think that you have to work longer hours in order to get better results. Mm-hmm. And the mindset here is that if you say, I only have 5 hours a week, then unfortunately your body is going to make one of 2 decisions. It's going to either say, hey, I can't do that in 5 hours and make the money I want to make, or it's going to say, okay, I'm going to figure out a way to do it. And I want you to have that mindset of, I want to figure it out so I can do it in 5 hours. And just to give you a little heads up, one of our students who is now a gold Zazzle Pro designer, which means that he's earned over $100,000 take home. That means he's made, like in terms of sales, made 1 million in sales. That's all because of following the Profit by Design Academy structure and teachings. And he was one of these people that was very, very specific because he likes numbers. So he actually said, let's do an experiment. And he's going to start with a store that is brand new so that he can really prove the system wrong. And it turns out he proved the system right because he ended up starting about 2.5 years ago, at the time of this podcast. And then he kept track of everything that he did, hours and products and how he did and his income and so on. And lo and behold, 2.5, 3 years later, he has now reached the gold pro designer status on Zazzle. And he's already gone way past that in terms of earnings. And I'm waiting to see what his next level is going to be. But he's always sticking to the 5 hours a week because that's all he can do. He has a day job and he has to work on that job, and it's sometimes very tiring. And so he makes sure that he gets his 5 hours in. But by saying that, I'm also saying that he gets his 5 hours in, which means that if there's a time, even when he's tired or he's had a long week, he still gets his 5 hours in. So that's also part of the mindset that you have to have. There are no excuses. You must get those 5 hours in. And when you get those 5 hours in, you don't just have, crack open your computer and then just say, okay, I'm going to work now. You're going to have a plan. And so we're going to talk about those in the other 4 of the key points where you're going to have that plan so that when you sit down and crack open your computer, you're going to know exactly what to do. And you're going to also be as productive as possible, because Jen's going to talk about that in a minute. So the last thing here is a couple of things. First of all, I said last thing, but they're combined. First of all, your goal you need to set as a financial goal, but also as a goal for your 5 hours, and keep to that so that you have, you definitely are working 5 hours a week. And then the other thing is that the goal that you set for yourself has to be realistic. Even though Brendan, that's our star student, made $100,000, he made it in a couple of years. So unless you give yourself an aligned goal with your productivity and your situation in terms of where and when you are, like where you're starting and where you are at in your business, then you need to be able to be aligned with that goal that you have set for yourself for that earnings for the year or for the month or whatever. Because when Brendan first started out, he didn't say my goal is $1 million. He said my goal is to sell $1,000 worth so I can make $100. And so that was aligned with his current situation of where he was in his business and journey. And so please be aware of that, because if you're not aligned with your goal and your productivity, then unfortunately your mindset drops and you'll start to give up and you won't even commit to 5 hours, let alone sticking to those 5 hours. And then you'll get disappointed, and we don't want that from you. So that was a big one, and that's why it's first. And now Jen's going to go into the productivity as to how to help you with that.
I'm going to chat to you about some productivity methods. One of the first productivity methods that we like to use is called the Pomodoro technique, and it's to set a timer for 25 minutes to focus in on doing work for that specific amount of time. And you can go onto the internet and search Pomodoro timer, and you'll be able to find an easy timer for you to use so that you can set out those 25 minutes to get a section or a chunk of work done. And this really helps you or our students, and as well as ourselves, because it's allowing you to spend that amount of time on a specific task, and it's actually keeping you accountable for working for those 25 minutes and makes you really focus on what you're doing rather than being distracted. Yeah. And talking about distractions as well, you want to make sure that you have a proper space set up where you're free from distractions. So maybe you're in an area where the TV's not on, or you leave your phone in another room, or you turn your email off, or any notifications, for example, from Facebook or social media. We get distracted really easily, and a lot of the time it's from social media or from our friends or from notifications that are on the internet. And so you want to make sure that those are turned off or on silent so that you're not being distracted by them. And we also like to tell our students and community to have like a specific designated work area that's away from your daily activities or routine, especially right now where a lot of us are working at home because we're online entrepreneurs. It's really easy to work in a common area where your family is, or in the family room where you have people walking around, or you're getting distracted by, work that needs to be done in terms of like cleaning your house or something. So if you have a proper area that's designated for your office space where you can close the door and be free from distractions within your home, and actually treat that as your office space and really work on your business at that time when you're in that office space, that really helps you focus and keep your distractions to a minimum.
Yeah, and I love it too that people have to be aware, including your kids, that this is mom's time to do work, and so that they have something to do and they can't come in every 2 seconds and knock on the door, Mom, are you done yet? Which is kind of like the Mom, are we there yet, in the car. So this is going to be really helpful to you to make sure that everyone is very clear on the fact that you're busy working. And that way you'll get that amount of work done in such a short time period, because this is actually truly possible. Mm-hmm. Do you have any more for that? Or are we moving to the next one?
No, we're moving to the next one.
Okay, so the next key point, which is point number 3. So we've already done point number 1, which is mindset and goal setting and having everything aligned. Then productivity and making sure that you're as productive as possible during the time that you are working in those 5 hours a week. And then the third thing is to get ready and organized so that when you are starting your time that you're working, when you start that Pomodoro timer, then you have already a set plan for what it is that you're going to be doing. So there's 2 aspects of that. One is creating the products, which is production, and one is promoting the products, which is obviously all the social media and areas where you're going to tell people that you've got this for sale. So let's start with the production. So the keys here is that you want to create products not just by throwing spaghetti against the wall. You want to make sure that the products that you're focusing in on and using that time that is so valuable for you, that the products that are going to be made and posted in your store for sale are going to be the best chance of selling anything. And so in our Profit by Design Academy, we walk you through specific steps so that you can really determine whether or not it's worth your time and effort to create those particular products. So let's give you a couple of examples, because we don't just always want to say Profit by Design Academy. We help you whether you're in the course or not. But of course, obviously the Profit by Design Academy gives you that all together, and you can always look back at it and keep learning and learning from all of our teachings. So some key points to think about when you're creating the products and making that choice to decide this is what I'm going to spend my time on are, is it a popular product? That the type of product? Is it a niche that's selling well on Zazzle? Is it something that's in demand within the right time frame? So for example, we tell our students that 2 to 3 months ahead of time of whatever it is that the demand for the product is when the product should be made. And there's a couple of reasons for that, which we don't need to go into, but it's a great way to schedule when you're creating your products. So 2 to 3 months before, let's say, Christmas, you are going to start making Christmas products. So if it is at that point where you're cracking open your computer, when you're doing your 5 hours a week and say, okay, it's 2 to 3 months before Christmas, my production schedule is going to be mainly focused on Christmas. So, but then you can dive deeper and you can say, well, what kind of product types should I be working on? So you can go into the Zazzle marketplace and you can do some research. You can also do research on Google Trends, and you can find out what type of products are being most bought, sought after and purchased on the Zazzle marketplace. And that then helps you say, okay, I'm going to decide on these top 5 products. Then the next thing is that if there's a chance that you are not very fast with regards to your production of the products to get them to that post for sale spot, then what you need to do is take a little bit of time out of your 20 hours a month and carve that out for training yourself to do better with the design aspect of things, as well as using the design tool and getting a whole bunch of keywords ready so that you don't waste your time while you're posting these products, so that you can just post it quickly and still have those keywords and the really great design in order to, when you post it, have send it off with its best chance of selling. That's what we always do, because we take every one of our products very personally. It's not a matter of creating thousands and thousands of products. It's a matter of creating about 5 to 10 really good products in order for you to get that sale, so that you can start to have that product sell more and more often. And that's the other reason why 5 hours a week is actually doable, is because when you're not wasting your time making a lot of products that aren't ever going to sell anyway, then you realize that the ones you are making, which are super intentional, then you're going to get more sales and more dollars out of those in a passive way. And that leads us all back to our 3 pillars that we talk about a ton, which is perceivable, passive, profitable. So we want to hit the passive and the profitable with creating that production schedule in that 5 hours a week, so that you can really take advantage of the fact that it's going to start selling that product, and then you're going to profit from it over and over again, even though you're not working on it anymore.
Have you heard about our signature course, the Profit by Design Academy, yet?
Are you a new or current Zazzle designer who's struggling to figure out how it works, worried that you're going to waste your time, and unsure how you can start and scale your Zazzle business to see sales fast?
The Profit by Design Academy includes everything you need to feel confident, clear, and certain about how to create your dream Zazzle business.
Building a profitable Zazzle business has never been easier because now you have access to the 5 strategies that we use to build our $1 million Zazzle businesses.
Head to the show notes to grab the link and we will see you inside the Profit by Design Academy. Now let's get back to the show.
Okay, so the other thing that's really important with knowing how much time to spend on production or making products is how many products do you feel you need in order to get that ball rolling and get those sales coming in and creating those evergreen products, as we like to call them, that are going to be selling not only every month of the year, but year after year. And that's the ultimate goal. And until you get there, you're probably going to have to do a lot more effort on creating those products, researching, making things like checking things out and testing whether or not something's selling or not. And then you'll finally get to that point where you know that you have this core set of products, and then you can start to build on those products that are already selling. And again, that is your last and final thing that you do when you're creating products. You find the products, and we're going to talk about that in the last key point here with regards to 5 hours a week, but it has to do with analysis. So once you start to realize the products that are selling, then you start to use those product types and make more, or your design that's selling and you make more of that to help the customer buy more of what it is that you've already, realized, oh, that's a good seller. And so this combined with that initial research is going to really help create that product suite so that as you move forward, you're going to work less and less time on production. You're going to work more on promotion and keeping your business going, and even maybe improving your training so that you can continue to up-level your design skills and your marketing skills so that you can work less hours and less hours, even less than 5 hours a week. Okay, so what about promotion? Do you want to tackle promotion?
Yeah.
Which is number 4 in the 5 key points that we want to make to helping you work 5 hours a week.
Mm-hmm. So production is obviously the most important because you have to create products in order to make the sales on Zazzle. But afterwards, you do want to promote your products as well, whether it be internally on Zazzle, where you use your store homepage to strategically place certain products on so that your customers who come to your homepage will be able to see them, or also externally. And externally mean by social media. And our favorite platform to promote products on Zazzle is Pinterest, because Pinterest is not like other social media platforms, which are more the social aspect and the real-time interaction. Pinterest is more of a search engine like YouTube or Google, where you're able to pin things on Pinterest and have them be there forever, basically, and then also have them be searchable. And so it's more of an search engine, but for visual inspiration. So that's really great. So we always recommend Pinterest as the go-to for promotion for your Zazzle products. Mm-hmm. And you want to make sure that you are doing your promotion strategically. Just like production, you don't want to be doing a lot of social media promotion or even promotion, with email marketing or, whatever it is in terms of your promotion strategy. You don't want to be doing it, wasting your time and doing a lot of effort for no results. You want to have a strategic promotion plan and make sure that what you're doing to promote your products is actually working for you. And what you can first do is internally promote. So make sure that you have proper branding and proper store setup, which we speak a lot about more in other episodes of our podcast, but then also in our Profit by Design Academy, we tell you everything that you need to know to set up your store properly and create a really proper and strong brand recognition for your Zazzle store. And then also you want to make sure that your social media accounts are also set up properly and they also have the brand recognition. So when you're promoting your products on your Pinterest account, for example, people who come to your Pinterest account and then are sent to your Zazzle products or your Zazzle store, they understand the connection. You want to make sure that your brand recognition is consistent throughout so that you are giving your customers a really great purchasing journey if you're bringing them through externally to the Zazzle store and to your Zazzle products.
Yeah, so this is something that you can do at the beginning, and once you get that done, then you can spend your 5 hours a week on promotion in a different way.
Do you want to add on to that?
Yeah, well, like we love Pinterest because you pin your item and your product once, and then you get promotion all the time because it's passive promotion, and people search it, and some people can find your pin from way back.
Yeah.
So even things you pinned years ago can still be found on Pinterest. And so as you start to build up your pinning and your Pinterest boards, then you're going to realize that the work isn't something you need to do every time. And that's what we love about it. And that's why you can get promotion done within 5 hours a week.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. So the last key point is to assess or to analyze your store data, and your promotion is extremely important to externally promote your Zazzle products, but the most important is to understand what's going on in your Zazzle store after you do your production and when you start to see sales or see movement in your Zazzle store. And you can even analyze your data even if you don't have any sales. There's a lot of information that you can gather from your analysis or the data that Zazzle gives you when you go into your store in the back end, and you can look at the data. So you can look at your views, you can look at if people have liked your products, if they have seen them, or if they've even purchased them, and when the last view dates or the last purchase dates were. And you can use that information to help you understand the story about what's going on in your Zazzle store. And you can take this information then and create either another tailored production plan for you going forward and understand why certain things are selling and why they aren't, or you can go back and you can edit the products and realize that maybe they need to be tweaked a little bit in terms of your design or your templates or even just your titles and tags, because that's all important information. If you're seeing a lot of views and no sales, then that means that something's going on with your design or your product templates. If you're seeing that you have a really great product and you think that this product should be selling because it's an awesome design, but no one's even seeing it yet, or there's no views, then there might be something wrong with your titles and tags, or the fact that it's not being found in the marketplace. So based on the data that you receive in the back end of your Zazzle store, looking at your products and having all of the options shown for the analysis, like the section on what is called in terms of your data, then you're able to create a story based on those products and take those that information and create another plan going forward to help you with your production so that you are using your time effectively. Because once you understand that you've worked a certain amount of time and you've created this amount of products or created this sort of data that's flowing within your store, you want to use that information and work it into strategically planning for the next couple of weeks, because we do want to work 5 hours a week. We don't want to work hours and hours on end to get the results that we want. And so by really understanding the data and understanding what's going on in our store, we can create a tailored plan so that will happen for us.
So let's just go through the summary here, because then I want to bring it in and have like a system for you to work over the course of a month so that you can use your 5 hours every week strategically. So first of all, we talked about mindset and being aligned with your goal so that you can really understand what is happening with your Zazzle journey and that you don't lose your mindset, positive mindset and want or desire to do well. So that's number one. Number two is to be able to work in a space that's productive. So there's no distractions. You have everything set for you so that when you sit down and do your work, you are very effectively doing work for those 5 hours. And it's amazing how we can get distracted, all of us, and how we can all of a sudden realize a whole bunch of time has gone past. So that's why we really like the Pomodoro effect or Pomodoro technique, because it has this really cool effect on you first. Because when you start to do it, it's like, okay, no problem. I'm very efficient. I get a lot of work done. This has happened to me, literally. And I do my work. I'm going to prove to people that I'm really effective in what I do. And all of a sudden, like 2 seconds later, or at least that's what it feels like in my mind, the thing has gone off. Like the timer's gone off. It's like, what just happened to 25 minutes? And so you're going to find that as soon as you start using this, and you'll realize, oh my gosh, I'm doing a lot of things that I shouldn't be doing in order to be effective.
Or that it's taking you longer to do something that you didn't realize that it would be that long.
Yeah, so
right?
even if you are doing it effectively, it's actually taking you longer than what you expected or thought was happening, right? So those two things are going to happen to you first, and that's really important that you remember those so that you're okay. It's fine. But what happens afterwards is you realize, okay, so now I'm going to play this game. I'm going to literally work more effectively and more efficiently to get it done in quicker time. And then you'll start to realize, okay, as time goes on, each time you do the Pomodoro technique, you'll get better and better. And not like in one day, but after a couple of weeks, you'll realize all of a sudden one day it's like, wow, I got a lot of stuff done within that time frame when I never used to get that done. And so that's where we want to get you with that productivity technique. And then, of course, making sure that no one's distracting you and that you're in a really great environment where you feel like, okay, I'm going to crush it. I'm going to get down to work. I'm badass, be a CEO, boss, whatever you want to call yourself. And it's like, I've got this. I'm going to go for it. And you bring your A game to the table. All right. So then we talk about the actual actions, which are production and promotion and assessment. And the really important part is that these are all connected. You're going to work a little bit on making the product. You're going to work a little bit on promotion. You're going to work a little bit on assessment. But some people in our courses say that's not possible for them. And I get it, actually. I agree. So what I have to do is I have to split up my month into weeks. So the first week, I'm going to work 5 hours on all of my assessment. That's how I recommend you do it as well. So you're going to check out what happened in the last month or even past months, and you're going to make a plan up and you're going to set it up. So the entire week or of that 5 hours is going to be all towards what it is that you're going to strategically do for the rest of the month. And that's your 5 hours. Then in the next 5 hours, so that's week 2, you're going to decide, do you work better with making products and then right away promoting them? Or do you work better by being in the zone and creating those products? And then later you have to literally separate the two actions and have the promotion at a separate time, because that's not something that feels comfortable to you, and really have to work on it, and it kind of gives you a downer in terms of your production ability. And so if that's the case, then there's a different strategy. So if you're up for promoting production and promotion at the same time, then every one of your 5 hours for each of the weeks 2, 3, and 4 are going to be that. You're going to make products and you're going to promote. You're make products, promote, make products, promote. So 3 weeks of that. And by the end of it, you should have somewhere between maybe, I don't know if you can get to it, maybe 25 to 50 products. That would be awesome. We tell our students 100 products, but they have a lot of hacks and schedules and things that they've got in terms of strategies. So for them, it goes a lot quicker. But if you can make up to 25 to 50 products within 1 month, that'd be awesome, especially if they were intentional. Remember, quantity is not quality, and quantity is not sales. And it doesn't relate to that amount of sales. You can make one amazing product and it can sell like hotcakes, or you can make 1,000 and nothing sells. So be careful when you think about that. And that's the mindset part, remember? And so then the other way of working, after you do your planning in week number 1, you're going to use the other 3 weeks in a very strategic way. You're going to work 2 weeks, so 10 hours total, 5 and 5, in making products. And then the last week, you're going to promote and use 5 hours to promote, because product making is much more important than promotion. It is very important to get your work out there and make sure that people see your products. But by making the product already, as Jen mentioned, you're already creating the product in your store. Your brand is set up properly, and the titles and tags are organically promoting your product. So making the emphasis on the production is the key to working the 5 hours a week, and that means 20 hours a month. So let's recap that. Do you want to recap it, or should I recap it?
You can go for it. You're on a roll. Yeah.
Okay. So week 1, 5 hours, you're going to work on assessing what happened, figuring out what works, making plans to do more of that in the coming month, and don't do anything else that wasn't working for you the last month. So, and also if that doesn't take you 5 hours, then do something more, like check on your branding. How is everything consistent with your store and your social media? Are you getting enough training? And could you learn a little bit more about how to use the Zazzle design tool more effectively? Or you can even think about how you can get more training on social media and promotion and anything to do with business and online marketing, which is always the issue for creatives, right? And that's why we created the Profit by Design Academy. That teaches you that. So then in weeks 2, 3, and 4, you're going to split that up and do production and promotion. So for anyone if that's you, that you like to do promotion along with production, then each week you're just going to do production and promotion, production, promotion, production, promotion. And if you're one that needs to have it separated so that you do production first and then you promote, so then that will be week 2, 5 hours production, then week 3, 5 hours production, and then week 4, 5 hours promotion. Okay?
Perfect.
All right. So hopefully that really helps you get to that 5 hours a week of creating your Zazzle empire without you jeopardizing the rest of the time that you have in the week. But you have to be really efficient, and this is going to start you off really, really well.
Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you in another episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast.
See you then.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to The Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur with Jen and Elka Clark.
We hope this episode has given you actionable steps to start and scale your Zazzle business so that you can have the passive online income to have location and time freedom to live your dream life.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Each review helps us reach more creative entrepreneurs like you working to create a profitable e-commerce business.
And don't forget to take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram stories and tag us at Miss Jen Clark and at Elka Clark. We'd love to hear your biggest takeaways from today's episode. See you back here next week.